Prosperity, peace and love to all my brothers and sisters. This is Teacher Kaitesi. So today, my message, what I want to talk to you about actually is people. We have to remember who we are. We have to try and remember who we are. You see, this is something I'm figuring out. This thing that is ongoing, this has not gone on for even more than 50 years. This thing has not gone on for more than 50 years. This play that we are undergoing, for me, I think came into play when I was around 3-4 years old. Because now I can remember more. I remember more. I remember who my parents were before these spiritual contracts. And I remember them, and they are people, and they are there, and I have met them during this season. I have met them when they are not, that was not my father, that was not my mother, but I have met both of them. And we get along like beautifully. I remember my father telling us about this season we are going to undergo. And I remember him telling us that he's also going to go through that test. And I have seen that he went through it. He married a very ungrateful, very unloving woman. And yet he was the most loving, kind individual that I knew. Okay? I have met my mother. Very beautiful, very stylish, very fantastic woman. And yet she was married to this ugliness of a man that didn't care for her, that didn't really love her. But I remember her being full of life. I know these people. I remember now the contracts. I remember these soul contracts better. I remember being taken there when I was a child. I was about what you'd say a 3-year-old. Like a 3-year-old size. Because I remember that I was still comfortable being naked. Okay? And I remember the places. My father's family, I went to meet them in Kisoro. Next to the home where their home place, presently where my father's home is, next door is where they lived at that time when I went to meet them for the soul contract. I remember now, I remember more vividly. I remember where I went to meet my ex-husband and his mother. I remember the hut that they were in, a hut house made of with grass. And those houses are there even today in their compounds. I remember for my mom's family, when I went to meet them, I was even older. When I went to meet them, I was older. So that one, I remember it very well. I remember who was there, I remember who wasn't there. And I've told you before that for me, the person who took me for these soul contracts was my mom's sister. Okay? And I know that time when she took me for those soul contracts, she was not my relative. These people became our relative afterwards. We were already born. We had already been with our families. We were basically taken into these homes and we became part of these other people. You understand? I remember these people that I've gone to school with, that have supposedly been my friends. I remember meeting them when they were ailed, they were lame, they had learning disabilities, they had different disabilities. I remember being taken to these places where they were like schools, and they would sit all these children, and I would move around them and see how unwell they are, and I go touching them, and I would sit, and they would make some of them sit on me, they would put others on my back. I remember all these strange different rituals, and these things were not done in the past life, they were done in this life. In this life, you guys, let me tell you, everything that we think we know has just been downloaded into our minds. We believe all these histories and all these things that happened long ago, but these things never happened. You think about it. Just from the 90s, the technology of the 90s and the technology of today, look at how far it has come. If we have made that far, we have moved that far, just 30 years. How about you telling me that we have been here for millions of years? What were we doing? You want to tell me that we were living in caves for 1,000,000 years? Then we started building little water houses for another 1,000,000 years. And then come on. When just in the 90s, you had to have a camera, which had a film roll, you had to have a television, huge, and you had to have a deck which used to play the tapes, and then you had to have a boom boom radio for your audios, and then you had to have a telephone, which was even in black and white. You had to have 5 different instruments just for simple technology at home. Right now, just 30 years, you have all those things. You have videos, you have audios, you have a camera, you have a phone, you have a computer, all of them in just your one cell phone. This is just advancement which we have done just 30 years. And you want to tell me that we have been here for millions of years, that African Americans were taken as slaves for 400 years, that they have been suffering under the white man? Not possible. Not possible. Not possible. Look at how much we have unraveled ourselves just in the last couple of years. Look at how much we have learned just in how many years. And now you want to tell me that we have been under these conditions for over hundreds of years. Have you met white people? Have you met white people? For me, I've met white people, and even when I'm talking to them in the first 30-40 minutes, I can see that they are afraid of me. And you want to tell me that these people have held us against our will and have been taking our minerals and our things for the last 100 and something years? No way. No way. No way. You guys, we need to wake up. You know when they told you that each and everything you know you need to unlearn? It is true. None of what we know is true. None of what we know is true. Everything that we've been undergoing, from when you're born, they start immunizing you. All these injections and everything that has gone through processing that they give you has something that makes you forget who you are. It has part of the conditioning. All these medications, all these processed foods, simple sweets, biscuits, all these different things. All these different things. There is an element, there is a chemical, there is something that has been added to general all different things that are processed. There is something that has been added. All these medications, all these immunizations, there are elements that have been added that are making us forget who we are. But you cannot tell me that we have been under this thing for hundreds of years. No way. No way. Because for me, I remember these contracts at the beginning, and they were in this season. I remember the places where they were done. I remember the people, and those locations are still there. I remember. How can I know this? Why are people trying to convince? You know, for me, if someone, I wish I could meet one spiritual person that can brainstorm with me like this, and we would finish this game. I'm telling you. Because for me, this is the thing. I have been surrounded by people whose spirituality is so a pretense. None of them pretends to know anything about this spirituality. They are all pretending. Some are pretending to be Christians, and yet they know nothing about the Bible. They pretend to be Christians, they pretend to be in prayer, they pretend. At the moment I ask something about something that I know from the Bible, they don't know it. And then I'm thinking, what are you even pretending for? I'm surrounded by pretense all day long. I've not had a single person in my life who is spiritually active so that we can sit down and brainstorm. Otherwise, I'm telling you this thing. This is just all a lie. This is all a lie. All these things that we think, you see, they are making it seem like it has gone on for very long so that you don't fight it. You know, the other day I was talking to someone, and this person is a real player in this game. And then I said, you know, I was talking about things we need to change and what. And then, you know, he told me that I don't think it's our generation that can change them. That I think we should maybe like our children or our children's children. And I said, why? And he said, no, you look at how things are. We cannot manage. And I thought, these are the exact people who want us to stay under these conditions, because they are benefiting from us staying in these conditions. You people, we can change this thing. We can change this thing today. Let's stop being afraid. These people, they are, everything that we see and we are afraid of is just an illusion. It's just an illusion. None of what they are doing is truthfully holds any water, holds any weight. I mean, if most of them are building their entire campaigns and lives on lies, then what are we afraid of? You people, let's now turn all our eyes and all our mind to remembering this thing. This thing has not gone on for this long. I'm talking to lions, by the way. Lions, most of you, the families where you are, those are not your families. And it's not in the past life. In this life, they are not your family in this season, in this life that you came in. You were basically procured by those families, and you're in those families to help them, but you're not part of them. You are not born in there. You were just brought in there. You were just brought. Brothers and sisters, seriously, let's remember who we are. Let's focus all our energy now on remembering who we are. Let's focus on remembering who we are. Let's try to eat as much natural food as we can. Drink as much water as you can, because water is water. Water is an element that has been here from the beginning, and water doesn't have favor. It does not favor one side or one side. Water is a neutral element. It's for everyone. Let's try and when we are drinking your water, talk to it, ask it to cleanse you, ask it to bring you back to who you're supposed to be at the very beginning. I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, this thing will not go on for this long. It should not go on any longer. We need to remember who we are and take back our world, because this illusion is just an illusion, and it needs to change, and it needs to end. Let's remember who we are together. Okay? I'm telling you.